Start. Go ahead. You can start.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast, where hustle meets strategy. You have your hosts, JP and PJ. PJ, take it away. Introduce our
Sameer,
guests.
how are you today? You are, a social entrepreneur who's won many awards.
Thank you.
And, you've done research, you're a data scientist, but you're also an author of the book of psychology on interviews.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
I think I utilized my last summer well. I can say that. More or less, I think these are just title and some keywords I'll call in my profile more than anything else. I think I would like to be known as a hustler who hustled enough. So,
A hustler, so you don't think you hustled enough right now, or
no,
what?
I think there is no right way where I can say that I have hustled enough. I'm a learner, right? Learner for life.
Exactly. There's a quote, you hustle so hard until your name is known.
Yeah.
So, I don't know you yet.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first time meeting or
Yeah.
something, so you haven't hustled hard enough to the
Of
point
course.
where I even know you. Same thing for me,
Of course.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, first time I met my fiance, right, and I was just bragging about myself being an ass and telling all the things I have done, just like the PJ said, all the keywords. And she, I don't know you. And I was like, damn, I have not done enough.
Well, something like, especially with a partnership with your wife or fiance, that's a lifelong
Yeah.
journey where you're going to continue to learn
Yep.
each other, and then there's different phases for different ages and
Yeah.
stages in your relationship.
Yep. Yep.
So you're young right now.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, just 30 something.
yeah.
I'm young.
I'm hey, I'm gonna be creeping up on 40 soon. So hey, I feel young. You're only as old as you feel.
That's true. That's right.
Sameer, before we jump into, all sorts of, why is that moving? If we ignore that, but if we jump back to, you used to live in India, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So what was it? You said it was like Bhilai,
Bhilai.
Bhilai, India.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember you saying when we met. And
Hmm.
how was that transfer from you going from Bhilai, India to the U.S.? What was that journey for you?
Right. So my journey was not very linear. I'll say that I didn't jump straight from Bhilai to Dallas. So I was very, very grateful. And Bhilai, in terms of, let's say Bhilai is the Dallas of India. I'm very loosely putting it, because Bhilai they get people from across the India. There's a steel plant which is very famous and people come to work there. So there is a good mix of all the cultures there, right? And when I look at Dallas, I feel the same way, the good mix of culture. Now, from Bhilai, I basically went on to do my education and then work, and then I came here. So, for how I feel about it, I think I have been blessed. I have been lucky, one of the few chosen one who got to live the American dream. Because when I remember back in India, right, my first introduction to America was the movies, right, and I saw New York. And New York is, I think, it's a masterpiece in America, and rest of the other cities of America look very different than New York. But my perception of America was New York. And when I landed in Dallas, I was like, damn, it is nothing like New York. And why nobody is wearing the trench coat and double-breasted coats, and why it is so hot. So
Have you been to New York though?
Oh yeah, every year I go to New York for
Okay.
some other reason.
So, because the perception is wild,
Yeah.
especially somebody that's coming out of the country. When you did get to New York, did you see everything you saw through the media while you were looking at it, like back in India?
Yeah, I think first time I visited New York 2019, and I think I visited in September, right, which was a little chilly. It is starting to get chilly. It is not as
Mhm.
chilly as New York yet. There is no snow. But I can still see high fashion on the street. I can still see hustling and bustling. And I saw a city that never sleeps. So
Oh, for sure.
everybody is like
Hustling,
walking,
for
running.
sure.
Yeah, and it was a crazy experience. And I think that's where you see the dreamers, if I have to say.
What is your as far as the American dream? What was going on in your head? Like you said, the American dream. What is
Yeah.
that to you?
Yeah. So my American dream was, I think, growing up. Whenever, like, my dream was basically to have.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. What?
yeah.
Don't
This
ask
guy is
questions.
making a
Don't ask
sandwich.
questions.
I'm
My
baffled
goodness.
by PJ's sandwich. There's a third ranch that went in. Okay.
Anyways,
Don't ask questions.
we're not gonna pay attention to that.
Right.
So it's, when it comes to the American dream, go just give us your definition of the American dream.
Right. So I'll say, like, American dream is a more so of a hustler, where you hustle about something, you dream about something, and you go out and you get it. So my dream was to build a company. My dream was to do entrepreneurship. My dream was to build communities, have a voice in my industry, which I think I was able to achieve to certain level. And that was American dream for me, being an entrepreneur. And best thing was, nobody here was to judge you. Nobody here was to stop you. Nobody here was to question you on anything that you are doing. But everybody was there to basically say, good job.
And now so you're saying you couldn't do this out in India.
No, I'm not saying I couldn't do this out in India. I'm saying there was a mentality shift. Like, I think in the past 7-8 years, India has came a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but back at my, like, if I have to say 2017, 2016, most of the focus of the people were go get a job and then live a very peaceful 40, 50 years of your life, which is, again, I'll say, one of the best thing that you can do if you're not on the other side of the road, where you are every day worried about paychecks and clients and business meetings. But what I liked about America was, it is called land of opportunity for a reason, because here you are not just restricted by one country, but here you can meet people from other countries and you can learn so much that you expand exponentially, which I think it was not available back in 2017 in India.
Okay.
It's still not available in India right now. I went back to India, 2 months ago? Hyderabad,
Yep.
the capital of
Yep.
tech
Yep.
nowadays, right? Other than Delhi. But if you look at how everything is organized and where all the kids are versus where all the opportunities are,
Yeah.
A lot of the kids I met, they all wanted to start entrepreneurship. In fact, I have a group called Young Network
Mhm.
that has a lot of entrepreneurs from India, and a lot of them live in Hyderabad. But they're like, okay, but it takes me an hour to get to downtown Hyderabad.
Mhm.
That's where all the events are.
Mhm.
But these are 15, 16-year-olds.
Mhm.
One, climate in India, I won't go into that mainly, but they don't have the accessibility to get to downtown Hyderabad easily
Mhm.
without taking risks.
Mhm.
So the parents don't want to send them. So they still have that kind of struggle. But here, if you're 16, 17, you have a car, you have
Right.
you have a vehicle to drive. It's also a little bit safer here, but 50-50 on that one. But you're still safer, and there's I started at 16.
Right.
I went to networking events like once a month.
Mhm.
I turned 17. The first few months I went every 2-3 weeks. Literally after December, I went to an event every day.
Mhm.
Right. So the opportunities here are just greater.
Right. Yeah. In terms of, again, if I am comparing a very different age, like, if things can change in like couple of years, things can change in a year time, and that's how world works, right? But what I'm focusing on is here. I always call it, like, where you have mix of many culture, many nationalities, it creates better opportunity, because then you are basically creating a melting pot of culture. But at the same time, you then don't have any history of culture also, which becomes a challenge in itself. But being said that, yeah, I I'm truly grateful for the country for everything it has given me.
So tell me, what industry are you in? Were you able to build the community that you wanted, and what are you up to nowadays?
Right. So I'm in an artificial intelligence industry.
Oh, okay, so in AI.
In AI, right? And I
Okay.
started like around 8 years ago in AI. Before AI was the cool thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always go to every meeting and I always say this: AI was a buzzword until ChatGPT came. AI was a sales word.
Mm.
We used to go to the meeting to sell AI. Now we don't have to sell AI. We have to sell the concept. We have to sell how we are going to achieve the AI because everybody understand to some level what AI is. Now, yes, I was able to create community which is around the students. I wanted to help people who want to get the first job, who want to get the first break, and I was able to create a good community among UTD, UNT, a lot of students around the campus.
How much would you say the amount of people you were able to build the community?
Right. So
thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, what?
No, I won't go to that level, right? Because I'll say like if I have to just put a number to this thing, I have around 17,000 followers on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
I'll say
Nice.
like around 8-9,000 of it will be students. So, and those are all the international students who come to USA to basically do their masters and bachelors. And again, I didn't have to host event. I didn't have to do any social media marketing. I never had any request from anyone to go come and follow me on anything. So it was all organic because of the sessions I used to take. I used to take free session, free coaching for the people who basically want to jump into AI or get job or even entrepreneurship.
So in that world, you're pretty well known.
I'm just starting out.
You just started.
I'm just
Okay,
starting.
you're being humble.
As I understand it, you still host those. You had
Yeah.
one like what 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I do host it. I like again. I think knowledge is a currency that you should always spread with people so that you
Right.
can get it much more in return. And I'll just give you an anecdote, right? I was talking about community. I started a community back in India in 2012. We had like around 40,000 kids who basically wanted to get some kind of education with 400 teachers into the mix.
Wow.
So, and one of the kid whom basically one of my teacher basically taught, she basically went on to become a police constable. So she became a police officer, and I landed at airport in India, and she recognized me. I couldn't recognize her because uh, after 8 years, people face changes, right? But she could recognize me, and she said like, "Thank you for helping me pass my high school." So that's the impact of community, and that's something I'm really proud of because if you can impact the life of someone, something, it matters.
And so, what are you up to nowadays? Then, what projects or are there any current projects you got going on?
As I understand, you do have a new book.
I have.
Oh yeah, let's talk about. He didn't bring the book.
Yeah, it's not out yet. This is the first book. This is the first time I'm working with a book which is more like a workbook.
Okay, so is it in pre-launch stage? What's going on?
It's I think I want to call it pre-launch stage. We are doing a beta testing. First time I'm doing it with a book.
So how could people download it? Do
Nothing.
some pre-orders,
Nothing.
pre-sales? Nothing right now.
Like,
Okay.
this book I'm going to release free of cost for everyone. So everybody in the world.
When will the date be coming out?
And it's September first week we are planning.
Okay.
It is a workbook where people will be able to not just read and get a knowledge, but put knowledge to practice also.
Now that's the biggest thing. I mean, where hustle meets strategy. Hey, it's not just about the knowledge. It's the act of the knowledge, the applied knowledge, which gives you the experience and the learning to gain that necessary skill set or just further your mindset and all those things that are. Tell us about this workbook that you're working on.
Right. So this is a newer kind of book that I wanted to create where people usually read the book and they get information and then usually becomes a knowledge. But I wanted it to have an action also so that they can, whatever they are getting the information on, they can actually practice it and learn real stuff rather than just the theoretical concepts that we all learn from all the books.
So what kind of expertise do you have that you can teach somebody something right now and they can apply it and reap the benefits? What is something that
Right. So I have been teaching AI since last, I want to call for 5, 6 years now.
Okay.
And I have taught over like 1,000 students across the world. And this every time, whenever I go and I teach someone, I'll always find an issue that they can understand the concept, they will learn the concept, but until unless they're not putting it to practice, it's a waste of time.
So-
And I teach from student to basically leaders of the companies. And that's why I'm creating this kind of a book, which basically triggers few things, which is you will learn information, put it into practice so that you always remember it.
So what I'm trying to get to is, give me like some specific, like name or give me an industry. Then you come in.
Right.
You have your level of expertise. And
Let's do an assumption instead.
Assumption.
Assume it's me
Yeah.
that you're talking to
Yeah.
and trying to teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
There we go.
I am in the range of
Yeah.
who you're trying to teach.
Sure.
So let's try
Sure.
that on me.
Let's do that, right? And again, I don't know who will read the book, right? So both of you fit the spectrum in the right manner, right? So
Sure.
you can both can read, right? For example, there's a concept in business that we call what if analysis. What if analysis is you will try to understand how much sales you will get, so that you can predict how much revenue you are going to get. Based on that, what kind of cost you are going to incur, and what would be your profit, what would be your margin, and all those good things, right? Now this is a mathematical concept, right? Which
Okay.
is you will get XYZ amount of dollars in your bank,
Right.
and you will get all the things that is cost to you. You will basically pay out, and whatever left is your profit. Right. Now, sometimes profit might be zero, profit might be negative, which is basically you're in loss. And then if the profit is positive, you have a profit.
Now we only go into business to make profit, but
Right.
the percentages of people that start businesses,
Right.
8 to 10, 9 out of 10 of them are failing.
Right. So
So
I won't call it failing. So
or they're learning.
yeah,
They're going through their learning
They're
journey.
learning.
No, no,
They're
no.
doing something wrong.
not exactly learning. So I'll tell you what happens, right? Whenever you start a business, you will put some investment, right? Let's say you bought your $100 and you put it into a business, right? So this is basically where you are applying the knowledge that you have just gained, which was you made XYZ money, you paid cost, and whatever is left is your profit, loss, or net zero, right? Now let's say this is what you have to put to the practice. You have $100, right? With that $100, you basically use $50 for the filing of your company, right? Your company is filed, all those things are done.
Okay.
You bought a domain for $8 a year, and you paid $12 for hosting, right? Now you have email address, you have domain, everything. Now this is all the cost to you,
Right.
right? Now let's say you started this podcast where your whole idea is you will invite a guest, and the guest will pay you just to feature on your social media.
Right.
Okay.
Now they will only pay you if you can get them some reach, right?
Right.
Now let's say you started putting money into social media marketing. Every ad, let's say you pay $50 a month on Meta, it will give you 15,000 views, right?
Right.
Now I'm not paying you XYZ amount just to get me 15,000 views. If I'm coming and paying you, let's say $200, I basically am expecting at least 200,000 views, right?
Right.
Now for 200,000 views, you have to at least put 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, $200, right?
Okay.
So $200 you're putting, you're getting 200,000 views. I have paid you 200. You just had 200 with you, but you used that all into the marketing of one profile, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got one client, and you did the numbers also. You did everything right in your business, which you're supposed to do, right? You got me the views, you got me a client, everything. But net money that you have is minus 100, because 100 you bought in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everything went into setting up the business. 200 went into marketing. So your actual investment has been 300, and you only got 200.
Mm.
So you are at minus 100. Now let's say you got 20 clients like that. You're
What-
not netting anything.
Well, now, how much is, like, if I did get a client, how much are they paying?
200. Let's say $200 a
Okay.
session.
So
right?
now that we went from one client to 20 clients,
Everybody's paying 200.
so 200 times 200 is what?
200 into 20, because 20 client you have, so which is basically 4,000.
Oh, yeah, 4,000.
4,000.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you have to do the same marketing spend, right?
Right.
So you also
But
yeah.
here's what most people do wrong. That most people.
Yeah.
What usually people do, they invite people on podcast,
Mhm.
and okay, we don't have a following. We have 70 subscribers, right? What most people will do is go advertise that person. So we'll go and say you paid us $200. Assume, you didn't. It's free, but you paid $200. Cool. We wouldn't go put that $200 onto your channel.
Yeah.
We'd go put that on our channel.
Yeah.
Right. So we'd grow ours.
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
said.
Oh,
Put
that is
200
what
on yours, right?
Okay, cool.
So where I'm getting at is like you will need to at least, let's say, for 1 million follower, let's say now after a year you have 1 million follower,
Right.
and you got external investment also. You came to me as an investor and I said, okay, I like you guys. I'm going to give you $20,000.
Right.
And you used all that for marketing spend so that you guys can get $1 million.
Right.
Right now you are in loss. Right. You have not made any money on that 20,000 I have given you because
Right.
you have invested everything into business.
Right.
So that your business grows. And when you have invested in business, that investment also includes your salary also.
Right.
Because you have to run your home. Right. So you got your salaries and everything. Now your business has not made any money. On books, it looks like you are in loss. But you all are getting salary. Only your business is in loss. Let's say you basically from 1 million to 10 million, you went on to make it in the year 3. You have now 10 million followers. Now what you will do, what in business terms we say services lines. You won't just do podcasting. Now you will do promotion of product. You will do promotion of other businesses. You will you have 20 million people on your Instagram account, right? So you can upsell anything on it.
Right. Okay.
You'll get commission of it, right? So this is basically on the workbook side I'm giving people to basically create services line and everything and understand that you might be in business you might be in loss for 9 years. But the 10th year, your profit might be so much higher that you can't even imagine, which was the case with one of the biggest firms that we know of, Amazon. They were in loss for 20 years.
Right.
Right.
But that doesn't mean Amazon was a bad business because that made that
Right.
guy.
Billions.
They
Now,
were
there's-
leveraging.
No,
pretty much,
there's
yeah.
a little quote, they're like, if you're not ready to do 10 years of entrepreneurship, don't get into the business.
Yeah. See,
Because,
I
it
won't.
might take 10
yeah.
years.
I won't agree to it because in the age of AI, right?
Well,
I think-
nowadays,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it's worth, now I don't
Yeah,
think you need 10 years.
yeah.
But the problem with it is, I created an AI company. I
Yeah.
created an AI company.
Yeah.
In, 1 week I hear maybe, because I have a group
Yeah.
with all anywhere from 15 to 25 years
Yeah.
old. Everyone's like, I did AI. It's saturated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you don't, in my opinion, right, if you don't have the right, everyone's like, I don't want to share my idea
Mhm.
either,
Mhm.
right? Someone can steal it. I'm like, one, if people want to steal their idea, they can't do it as well as you.
Yeah.
They don't have your execution. Two, you need to market it.
Yes, I'll say one thing, right? We have cars, we have bike, we have bus, we have plane, we have everything, right? Those are all, if I have to say, is a vehicle, right? It's a vehicle, right? So vehicle is an idea. The shape, body, form can be different, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Like there might be 500 AI companies, 5,000 million AI companies. Everybody can get a customer,
Mhm.
right? As you rightly said, it's not about idea anymore. It's about how you package the idea.
Right.
Right. So if you have you get Gucci bag, right? It's as similar as to bag that you can get in a Walmart.
Mhm.
Same quality, same strength, same everything. Right. But Walmart will give you for $30 and they'll get you for like $30,000. Right. It's just the branding on top of it.
And
Right.
and that person's name they built that brand
Right.
to make you think
Right.
that is luxury when everything is all the same,
Yeah.
all the materials.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's why I always say, if you have, I always say people chase the fame, not the money. Money follows the fame. If you are famous enough, people are willing to pay you anything because nobody understands the concept of money. And when you are famous enough, then there is no concept of money for you,
Right.
because you can charge anything. You're the leader in your space.
So, and on that topic, you got lots of teaching skills, you do lots of teaching. As I understand it, you also have a PhD,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, because you have a PhD in, what was it in again?
Computational neurology.
Right. Now, on that topic, it's a lot of AI.
Mhm.
Now, due to AI,
Mhm.
and do you think that soft skills are now more important than technical skills, or how do you feel about that? Because a lot of people are worried. They're like, AI is going to take my job. Now,
Yeah.
I know the answer to that question. But
Yeah.
I would like to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I'll say like soft skill has been important always, right? It's nothing new. The issue is uh, soft skills become much more important in the world of AI, where you have to go and talk to everyone, right? Let's say we could have done this podcast on Zoom also,
Right.
yeah? But when we meet in person, our energies are different, right? Because now I can see you or you can see
We
me,
had a podcast about this literally yesterday as
right?
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's
so our
awesome.
energies are different, right? Now,
Exactly.
not just assume. And this is again, I'm trying to predict in the next 5 years. I think remote work will go away.
You said remote work will
Will
go
go
away.
away. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I can clone myself with enough data I have on internet. If I have created videos for last 365 days, I can create a persona of me who can talk like me, who can give answers to every emotional cue that you will give me. That's
So
humanly possible as
wow.
of today. I'm
Okay.
not even talking
Yeah.
5 years down the lane. It is as of today I can create, because I have a lot of videos. I can create a person who can run basically my avatar, which can
Everything.
post reels for me every day on
Right.
Instagram.
Okay.
Right. Now, how will you trust me when there is so much deep fake? Right.
That's a great question, and that's why it's really important to build those relationships.
Correct.
Because I'll be like, no, I know that guy
Right.
because
Right.
I've
I've
that human touch.
Been with him so long.
Right.
Right.
Right. And when you have human touch and when you need human touch, the only thing that is important is your soft skill. And I'm not saying everybody has to be communicator,
Mm-hmm.
because then also neurologically people will be there who don't want to talk to everyone, right? Or who are ambivert, which is they're not extrovert, they're not introvert. They just like their own set of people, right? And then there are extroverts who like everyone and who will go and talk to every single person in the room.
Absolutely.
Right.
And
Right. So yeah, like you guys, right?
Yeah.
That's
we,
why you're
we
doing this,
network.
right?
We network crazy.
Right. So when you have that kind of a mix of people, uh, again, when I say remote work, I don't mean that every remote worker will go away. I'll say there will be much more focus on people coming to a similar space so that they can talk to each other, they can understand each other, and then basically transfer the ideas. But most of the work, like let's say emails, automation, right, all those things will be there, will exist. It's just that they will have much more time to ideate on things rather than doing the
Right.
boring stuff.
so, we're gonna go into more of a rapid fire kind of question. What's your favorite book that changed your life?
Oh, 0 to 1, Peter Thiel.
Ooh.
He's got it quick.
Yeah, that was
You
my
said
first
it's 0 to 1.
0 to 1 by Peter Thiel.
What is it
Okay.
about?
Yeah, it's Peter Thiel is he was the investor in Facebook, right? He was
I've heard of 0 to 100, but 0 to 1.
0 to 1.
Okay, so
By Peter Thiel, I think
I'm gonna check.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
that's
You
one
know-
of the best book on entrepreneurship anybody can ever learn.
Wow.
Next question is it harder to build a team or a product in like one sentence?
I think team product is way easier nowadays, but right now team is very hard to build because you don't know whom to trust initially, right? And trust is only built over the time. You cannot say on the day one I trust this guy.
Right.
I guess so.
So, we've got to, cut the podcast short, but, we'd love to invite you back another time. Would you like to,
How can we get
Get
in
in
touch
touch
with
with
you?
you.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
get in touch with
Or
you?
how can people get in touch with you that's looking at our podcast and stuff?
Right. Easiest way is LinkedIn. Second easier is my email, right? Which is most often public. There are like a lot of tools. Hunter.io. Just go type in the name and you'll get the email address. But it's my first name, last name, 009 at Gmail. I often try to reply to all the emails that I get. And it's fun. Emails are still fun. I like to go to the old school method.
Right. Sameer, this has been awesome. Your perspective on, tech and how everything works, especially on teaching, anywhere from, children to adults, it's powerful, right? So we will actually link, how to find you down in the comments. But, thank you again for coming and doing your third podcast today.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And if to the listeners, if you guys found this valuable, please put a comment, share, like, maybe subscribe too if you want to. Thank you guys.